Don't be surprised that Sony is saying this right now.
Got it.
Yes, Sony is laughing all the way to the bank because they fooled these gamers. They fooled ponies, they even fooled the gaming media. Now, why do I say that? Let me explain. Every business is motivated by selling as many products as possible. Now, some businesses, they try all sorts of, let's say, insidious ways of trying to get their consumers or get the mass public to buy their goods. And some of them, they try these tricky ways. For example, there's a tactic where company initially raises prices and then lowers them to their original level or slightly below. Is often referred to as price manipulation or price manipulation tactics. It's a strategy used to create a false sense of value or a perceived deal for customers, even though the final price remains the same. So by now you guys know where I am getting at. You see, a couple months ago, Sony would have raised the price of the PlayStation 5 consoles in New Zealand, Australia, and Europe. And you see, some persons were angry with when Sony did this. Yes, they raised the console to more than 25%. You see, persons, they forget very quickly, but I don't forget.
They forgot. Hell, many of us forgot. But I don't forget.
So that slimy Sony is pretending to be the savior of the industry. Now, all of a sudden, Sony is saying that they are going to have a price drop of their console. So they raised the price in April, and guess what? They're dropping it now. Wow, they are saving gaming. Listen to what Sony is doing when it comes to this price drop.
Sony confirms discounts on PS5 consoles, accessories, and software starting this week. PS5, PS5 Pro, DualSense controllers, PSVR 2 and PS5 software will all get discounts this week. Sony has announced several deals on PlayStation 5 hardware and software, including discounts on the PlayStation 5 Pro and more. From May 28th to June 11th, Sony will reduce the price on various products on the PlayStation Direct store and participating retailers as part of its Days of Play campaign, including $50 off PlayStation 5 Pro in the US. A Call of Duty Black Ops 6 bundle, which comes with the PS5 console and a copy of the game, will be available in both standard PS5 and PS5 digital versions, starting at $399.99 for the digital edition. Sony says this is a saving of up to $120 compared to buying the console and game separately. The digital and standard PS5 console will also be on sale in Europe and Asia, starting at €399.99/£339.99/65 $980 for the digital version during the promotional period. Sony has yet to confirm the full list of console discounts, meaning some of the European discounts leaked earlier this week by insider Bill Cohen have still to be confirmed, and may not be revealed until the sale starts on Wednesday. Sony also says PlayStation VR 2 and the PlayStation VR 2 Horizon Call of the Mountain bundle will get a $50 discount during the promotion. The PS5 DualSense Edge, and Access controllers will all receive discounts, as will the Pulse Explore wireless earbuds, which are compatible with the PS5, the PSVR 2, and the PlayStation Portal. Various first-party games will also be available at a discounted price, including Astro, MLB, The Show, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, and LEGO Horizon Adventures.
Just a point to note that we are seeing LEGO Horizon is considered to be a first-party PlayStation game. I didn't say it. It's right there. Sony is calling it a first-party PlayStation game. Now, there you have it. Sony would have raised the price, as you could have seen evidence of, and then, in order to seem to be the hero, they are saying they are lowering the price. But I know what these ponies are going to say. They are going to say that PlayStation never rose or never gave the US a price hike. That is what they're going to say. You don't know what you're talking about, Island Gamer with J. They didn't raise the price in the US. Everywhere else around the world except the US, and that's for a reason. You see, Xbox and Nintendo have a good bit of fans in the US, and if they were to do that, they would have, how to say, stunt their sales from the US customers, because there's a possibility that the US customers would have gone to those other platforms. So they made a very strategic move not to raise the console in the US in fear that the other consoles do much better than them, or they lose some gamers because of being greedy, nasty Sony. Yeah, that is what happened. So yes, the only one who would be benefiting from this price drop are the US customers for a time. So this is not an indefinite price drop. This price drop is for a time, as you can see in the article. And let's face it, Sony owes the American customers something, because they basically gave you guys nothing for the entire year. What did you guys get for the entire year? I know what Xbox got. Xbox got a plethora of games. Look at games, banger after banger after banger on Game Pass. We didn't even have to pay upfront for none of these games, right? We got all of these games at a subsidized price. This is value for your money. So what did Sony do in order to save face? Well, they did two things. They gave you guys The Last of Us Remaster, The Last of Us Remake, and The Last of Us Rethinking. There is when Ellie was training to beat Floyd Mayweather in the prize match of the century. Chill, Ellie, chill. You just might beat Floyd Mayweather. But yes, this is what Sony is doing right now for the PlayStation community. They're in America. They're giving you guys a price drop. Something well deserved for giving you guys nothing for the entire year. But I digress. Today we are going to talk about a couple gaming news, and we'll also talk about how now PlayStation community, so many PlayStation community is excited for Starfield. After criticizing this game, one of the worst criticized games ever. Well, we'll talk about it. So you know what? Let's get it.
This is a sickness!
Let's support your boy by hitting the like and subscribe button. When you do that, you get some of the best Xbox content this side of the internet. Of course, we give you Xbox news, we give you some Nintendo here and there, and we specialize in disciplining the PlayStation community, disciplining the arrogant ponies. Yes, that is what we specialize in. So if this type of content interests you, hit that like and subscribe button. Now, like right now, do it. Now let's get back to the program. First up, let's talk about Xbox games dominating the PlayStation platform. We know that Forza Horizon would have released on the PlayStation on April the 29th, 2025. And since then, that game has really showed up the type of games that Microsoft produce. Because it's being reported now, the latest update is that Forza Horizon has sold 1.2 million on the PlayStation platform. Now, to put that into perspective, think about this. Astro sold 1.2 million in 2 months, 2.5 months, what have you. Forza, an Xbox game, has not only surpassed Astro when it comes to sales in a shorter space of time, but it did that as an older game. Now, persons would have given Astro Game of the Year, Game of Generation better than Nintendo and what have you. But we even saw with Jeff Keighley, he never even gave Forza the recognition that it deserved. And guess what? We are seeing very clear that Xbox games was always better than these PlayStation games, because if it is, the PlayStation community is buying these Xbox games better than they bought Astro that says a lot, seeing that Astro was a lot of persons' Game of the Year. So that's a nice little, take that here what? Forza is destroying all metrics on PlayStation, proving that Xbox not only had the best set of games, but Xbox games could still sell, although being 5 years old. Wow, these guys are buying these old games like hot bread. Next up, let's talk about Starfield. Starfield is without a doubt most gamers' game of the generation. The game is beautiful, the game plays well, and it just keeps getting better as time goes on. But we know that when Starfield was released, it was the most hated game on the internet. I mean, since Microsoft stopped Sony from making Starfield exclusively PlayStation 5, these ponies have been salty ever since. I mean, these ponies went all out. They were so salty from Starfield. I mean, I saw a lot of salt in my time, but Starfield produced the most set of salt in the PlayStation community than any other game. I mean, these guys hated Starfield. These guys were saying Starfield was trashed. They reviewed bomb Starfield. There were guys coming out saying that Starfield is a silly game because you can't land on gas planets. Remember that? Remember that dude who said you can't land on gas? You remember that? So if it is you fart, you cannot land on that fart, right? You cannot land on that fart. You can believe these ponies. This is a sickness of the highest order. So yes, we know what the PlayStation community did, and many gaming outlets did. They spread misinformation. They had a full-on hate campaign for Starfield. Now, since then, it's been rumored that Starfield is coming to the PlayStation 5 after 2 years or so. And now, all of a sudden, these PlayStation fans are happy. They are happy that they are going to buy Starfield at full price. Wow, wow, wow. Listen to this report.
Starfield PS5 port gets exciting update. Starfield is still slated to launch on PS5 this year. As per a well-known insider, the reveal to release timeline of Starfield's PS5 port will reportedly be minimal. Bethesda may show up at the upcoming Xbox game showcase to announce Starfield's PS5 port alongside the game's next big DLC. A reputable insider has provided a welcome update surrounding the long-awaited PlayStation 5 version of Starfield. In light of Microsoft porting several first-party games to PS5 this year, Starfield could be the next Xbox title to be announced for the Sony platform. Originally released in September 2023 for Xbox Series X/S and PC as Bethesda Game Studios' first new IP since 1997, Starfield underwent a somewhat rocky launch. Critical reception was decent, but the game's story, exploration mechanics, and pacing were subject to criticism. Despite this initial reaction, Bethesda committed to improving Starfield over time, steadily rolling out fan-requested updates, notably a 60 frames per second mode on console, and post-launch content like 2024 Shattered Space DLC to keep players engaged. Ever since Xbox delved into the multi-platform publishing waters, Starfield has been a hotly demanded game among PS5 users. Rumors of a Starfield PS5 port first began last year, and its debut may not be too far off now. Over on Twitter, credible industry insider Nate the Hate recently claimed that Bethesda is indeed planning to officially announce Starfield's PS5 port this year, with it being just a matter of when. He also noted in a separate tweet that the gap between the reveal and release of Starfield's PS5 version will be minimal, suggesting the sci-fi RPG could hit the console before 2025 draws to a close. Starfield's next big expansion may herald its PS5 launch. It doesn't come as much of a surprise that Nate the Hate's remarks line up with prior comments from insider Tom Warren, who alleged a few months ago that the Starfield PS5 port is expected to launch alongside the game's next major expansion later in 2025. Further fueling the speculation was a PS5 logo that was spotted in Bethesda's creation kit for Starfield earlier this year, implying that internal preparations for the port are well underway. Although the studio has yet to confirm Starfield's PS5 version, the mounting evidence and insider reports indicate that it's all but inevitable. At the moment, the most likely venue for the Starfield PS5 port announcement is the upcoming Xbox game showcase on June 8th. Not only can Bethesda reveal Starfield's next major expansion here, but since Microsoft has confirmed that it won't hold back from showing competitor logos for multi-platform Xbox games during its live streams. A coming to PS5 stinger right at the end of the DLC trailer is entirely possible. As for Starfield's PS5 release date, it might be after Gears of War. Reloaded hits the Sony console on August 26th, potentially mid-September, to end the financial quarter on a high note.
Now, if this rumor is to be believed and Starfield is actually coming to the PlayStation 5, make no mistake, Starfield will do more damage than Forza could ever do. Because as you guys know, the only reason why these guys were saying these things was because they were jealous of Starfield being exclusive to Xbox. But I also know that Starfield was very successful for Xbox, raking in close or more than $3 million in the first 2 or 3 months. In addition to that, the player count was wild. Over 10 million players on Starfield. So when it is you look at all of these things, you look at everything that is being said, we know Starfield will destroy on PlayStation. So let me hear what you thought about everything that was said today. Let me hear what you think about Starfield coming to PlayStation 5. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.